Welcome to my studio, welcome to Asylum Atelier. I'm happy to continue working and sharing that process of painting, that kind of a character design and creation painting where I work mostly from imagination. I'm using some reference books and definitely some reference anatomy, but most of these things are from imagination, and it's done old school way, so no Control Z. Everything has to be repainted over and over again. Every change have to be accounted to. So I hope you're gonna join me on this endeavor. And I guess all of you that are watching are aware that this is not a video, this is not a stream to watch. This is paint along with me. I am giving a commentary through the process, what I'm doing, but it's supposed to help you to get into that mindset of what does it mean to be a painter a full-time. So this is the primary thing that I do every day. I love to paint. Sometimes sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's extremely annoying because the things are not going the way that I want to, but and that's the reason why I'm doing this actually, is that I mentioned this previously, that this is more painting for myself, for my non-profit organization that helps people to get better education about the history of a painting, history in general, but it's always bound to art. So there's kind of an art history arc to it, and not only that, it's about restoration and you know, keeping that idea from the past, and improving upon existing techniques alive. So this is part of that non-profit organization, and it is for the non-profit organization. So I'm really enjoying to do this. I've really had fun with, you know, creating it and thinking about what I want to do. And there was another aspect. I didn't want it to do anything elaborate that would take months upon months. So I decided just one figure setup, which is bread and butter for everybody who ever been in the studio painting setup, in the traditional figure painting class. It's all about the one figure, sometimes two, maybe occasionally about three figures, but that's basically it. So it wasn't that difficult for me to you know, to navigate through this painting, but I have a way more challenging painting right behind me, which is a longer project that I'm been working on, but for a year and more, probably more than a year, and that's multiple figure painting. I have way more issues completing these kind of paintings, because they, you know, require another set of skills that are not as present and as visible as with these single portraits. Other thing is, I call these portraits. That's actually something that I wanted to talk about in terms of portraiture. I still call this portrait, even though you don't see the face. What this is a portrait of an idea. This is a portrait of my non-profit organization. It doesn't include a specific person, even though I am using myself as a reference, my hand, kind of my posture to that, because as I mentioned also previously, I am probably, or not I am, you are your own best model, because you can work as hard as as you wish. You don't need to pay yourself, and you know, you just need to feed yourself, and then you're good. You have a model. So that's why I'm using myself. And then a lot of things are just, you know, just ideas and designs repurposed from different paintings, or created from scratch out of imagination. So this is the portrait for non-profit organization. This is a portrait of what we are dealing with and what we are trying to achieve. This is like a, or actually let me rephrase that, what I am trying to achieve, what I am adding to that knowledge for students. That is definitely that's definitely these streams and endeavors and ideas and knowledge that comes from these streams. And the knowledge is not always 100%, it's not always correct. And that's the beauty of these painting sessions that I stream and record, is that this is a painting discourse. So you are painting alongside with me, I'm saying something, you can see whether or not it's working, and if it's not working, there is no way for me to hide it. So you see the process of struggling. So and it's about the mistakes. So I am making mistakes every day when I paint, and it's not that they're deliberate mistakes, they are more like I'm trying to explore the possibilities, and I don't know where the end of these possibilities are. So this is like a frontier for myself, and hopefully for you as well. This is about exploration and finding the answers to the questions about painting, especially oil painting in this particular case. I talk a lot about the composition, and this is where I would like to start today as well. I'm looking at my painting and I'm looking at the things that could be improved. And when I'm talking about improving certain things, or improving anything for that matter when it comes to painting, I'm improving composition. Every other additional information that I'm putting into this painting supposed to, or no, it's not supposed to, it has to help a composition. If it's not helping overall composition and the feeling and the idea that I'm trying to communicate with viewers, not necessarily stream viewers right now, but the people that actually look at the paintings. So that's the main goal. That's the alpha and the omega of what I am trying to show you, how much thought I'm putting, and I'm pretty sure that you are as well, into the work. Sometimes we have that, you know, bad painting Friday, silly paintings where it's just for fun, and this is also for fun, but it should have a little bit more meaning, a little bit more depth to it. At least for myself, that's what I'm trying to achieve with this painting. So that's probably it for the introduction. I would like to get right into painting, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, even though it seems that it's already laid out quite accurately. There is a lot of work that needs to be done around the hand that I was thinking about, and moving things around a little bit, working digitally, and also trying to convey a little better representation of that hand. So I'm probably going to be working on the hand today, and then I feel that these two passages are kind of a very boring to look at. How else would I put it? It's not helping a composition, it's not helping anything. This is still wet. Okay, cool. So I'll be probably looking into these things a little bit more in terms of how to make them a little bit more interesting, and how to connect them with the overall feel. Last time I put the sword there. I'm going to leave it as it is for now, because I don't really know yet whether I like it or not. But as it is right now, I am satisfied with the position and the movement. I need to put this a little bit on the side, because there's a slight cast shadow there on my canvas. So yeah, that's about that. That's about a sword, and then again, I still have this area fairly. Oh no, it's okay. So maybe I might look into this area, because it's really sticky. So it's a kind of a touch dry. I still have a little residue of paint on my fingers, but that's the ideal moment for me to start applying another paint, because that kind of a stickiness creates the nice bonding effect to it. So yeah, and then again, I started with the helmet, so maybe I should continue with it a little bit more to get it even further, to get it even more detailed. Only because, like I said, this is a focal point, and then slowly move towards the hand, because that will give me the perfect understanding of how much needs to be done in order for that painting to be kind of coherent. So maybe I'll work a little bit more on that helmet, because I feel that it deserves a little bit more of the details. Especially I did not figure it out, this area right here, and I want to continue with that kind of a nice steel feel to it. I'm fairly satisfied with the position, proportions, and colors right now, but it's still certain things that are missing there, and they don't look right to me. I think that this part especially is a little too light around here, because the helmet this is catching the most light possible, because it's under a angle this way, so the sun is hitting more, or light source rather, it's hitting more, and then this part right here, it's angled this way, so I can't have that much light around this area. So I'll probably connect that a little bit. So that would be probably to take into consideration when I'm gonna, if I will choose to work here. And then this is very boring. I know there is a lot of kind of a detail there, but that's just like an abstract painting. But it's boring in terms of that I don't have any something there. Something is missing and bothers me. And you know, from one point, yes, you should have like that area of rest for your eyes, but then just a little bit, just to give it a, and when I said boring, it looks very flat, right? So it looks like it's just a flat kind of a piece. So maybe I will create a little bit more of that movement around the shoulder, so it buckles a little bit, same way that I did with the sleeve. Even though it probably wouldn't, but this is interpretation, this is artistic interpretation of that. And we used to see certain, you know, changes and shifts in the lighting because things are constantly moving. If you take a still image and it happens to you, I'm pretty sure it happens to me a million times, it's still happening, that when I take a picture, it looks so boring. The actual life was so vibrant, the colors and the people and everything, because I used all of my senses. I used smell, the noise, and the eyes were moving constantly left and right. I was examining everything. I saw movement with people. Camera cannot do it, painting cannot do it. If we just record one still image, it has to be really taken into consideration that if I would paint from live model, one day it's this way, and the tomorrow it could be completely different shape. And I love to paint it over and over again and look for that perfect position for a head, for the shoulders, for the torso, for the hands, because they are constantly moving. And the portrait, especially this one, it's a hundred of photographs piled together, giving that kind of a more accurate representation of the subject. So, and that's why I love to paint from life rather than just from photograph. It's way more immersive for me, and it gives me broad variety of positions and moods and feelings and so on and so forth to choose from, which is very important. I think that is very important in order to create more convincing, more how would I put this? Art that speaks to a little bit deeper on another level. And I want to do I always wanted to do painting like this. So this is something that that it's a hobby compared to other assignments that I have from the patrons. That it's more like a work that I when I think of that. I don't want to say that it's a different quality, but I'm definitely this is more sunshine and you know, the happy place kind of a moment, because you know, if you work on some commissions and you have some deadlines and stuff that might be draining, not only time consuming but also mentally challenging. So this is more like my hobby portion of my life as a full-time painter, which sounds really strange, but you know, that's what it is. Okay, enough of my pep talks here and rambling about my personal views and issues. Let's be a little bit more concrete in terms of painting. So chainmail that I need to work on, and the hand, because right now hand kind of fell out from my initial good feeling about it. It's still okay. I don't want to say that it's, you know, it's completely bad, but I think it's slightly darker right now. It feels darker than I wanted to, and it's kind of bringing all that darkness. Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think maybe if I put a little bit more of a detail into it, it will read a little better. And I'm again looking into a mirror, to a mirror reflection, and yeah, perhaps it deserves to be a little lighter. And then I still want to push a fabric and cloth even lighter. And I think the problem is with shadows. I mentioned it yesterday that I think the shadows are way too dark, so I should lighten them up a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, these are the things that, you know, if I were using digital media, I was just, you know, I would slide it lighter. Select and make it lighter. That's it. But unfortunately, or fortunately, for me, this is oil painting, and I have to paint it and repaint it if I dislike certain certain areas. So yeah, gloves is on, or being put on, and let's get into it. And then again, that part right here bothers me. Remember, I talked about it, this area right here. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And you know, you remember what I always say: if it doesn't look right, it isn't. And I honestly think it's because I created kind of a this is kind of a boring same line as this one, and this is just, you know, this is cut out from the wood. It doesn't serve any other purpose but to be this way. This could fall, depends on the motion, the movement. So I should probably create a little bit more interest around this. Maybe show that there is still that is that that mesh, the texture of that chainmail there. Maybe that would help. So that would be one interesting experiment to do, maybe to show a little bit of that right here. So it would kind of connect this area, and it would kind of link it together, right? Because this is right now, this is separated from this by a harsh line that is really, I probably have to darken this part as well, so it kind of move together a little bit, or you know, it's closer together on value, because I feel that there is too much of a sharp edge together with a lot of contrast, and I don't want to have a sharp edges and large contrast around this area, because this is not the focal point. And yesterday I put the sword there. This all looks good, except I think this is still way too light. But well, I'll just keep it there for now, and then I can always use a scumble or glaze, depends on the circumstances, or use both to get even better results. So yeah, I think I'm gonna work a little bit on that helmet, because there are a few things that I don't like about it. So let me just correct those. Yeah. So I'm going to mix my dark values. And I definitely need to correct this part. This, if it goes this way, this needs to go higher up. This needs to go higher up. And then I have a thickness right here, I have a thickness right there. So I was preparing things and I did not squeeze the white on my palette. What I'm doing right now, I'm erasing. If you're interested in what these and how do we erase with paint? Well, we mix the color that sits underneath that or around it, and then just paint it again. There you go, erase two. I hope you're happy. Now you know. Okay, so it needs to go a little bit more this way. I think yesterday I might have rushed that a little bit, that little piece right there. I kind of, or I was standing too close because it kind of, it didn't work in terms of symmetry. So I have to be mindful about this. Because I'm getting closer and closer to details, and so I'm applying my undo button right now. Yeah. It's just that the curvature that I created was not according to the kind of wireframe that is in my head when I'm looking at this. So it's curving around and it's going behind or away from us. And it was not really properly executed, and it kind of gave a wrong feeling of helmet being tilted differently than I wanted to. Cool. And there's a little sliver right here. so it's going this way just a little bit. I just want to suggest it just a little bit. And then it has a kind of a feel of reflected light right here. Feels like it's catching a light from somewhere. Yep, cool. See, these are like a little small adjustments, but they're important for the kind of overall feeling of that the helmet is curving away from us, and then also keep that metal. Coldness of that metal, that's what I was trying to say. Let me see if this is seems fairly. So I dry brushed it a little bit and knocked it down. So yeah, right now it's way better. Because it was too much, it was lighter than it should be. And because it was lighter than it should be, it was kind of breaking that form, the idea that this is the top plane that I was talking about, that the light is hitting the most. And this is a down plane that catching a little less light. And then there's going to be a controversial move. I'm going to add right into this to create a little bit more of that. Interplay between warm and cool, and I want to have a feeling that that redness that it's here in these areas kind of reflecting into it, even though you are not sure where that redness is coming from, or I don't need to describe where the redness is coming from. Right now it's coming from the warmth of the canvas reflecting into that helmet. That's very important. You can't just randomly do whatever you want, but if you understand the painting or the process of painting, or rather, not even painting, if you understand how light works, or behaves rather, then you can start. I think I'm not sure. I'm still just practicing this. I think that then you can start manipulate. Manipulate it. That's what I was trying to say. This this could get a little darker. And again, these are really small improvements that are barely visible. But you know, if you add them together throughout the, I don't know, multiple sessions, you will definitely see the difference in these. So I'm removing existing vents that I previously painted because it felt like they're not in the right position. Yeah, this looks way better right now. It has a little bit more of that accurate feel to it. Okay. trying to, again, adjust things that they are either proportionally or they're either proportionally wrong or they don't describe a form the way that I want to. Those are only two reasons why I am working on these things, or actually adding them there in the first place. Just add a little bit of the redness there. This might be a little too much. So I'm adding a little bit more of the redness into my, or warmth into my shadows right now when I'm correcting these. The idea is basically the same than with that redness into reflection, just to kind of add a little bit of that redness from background. Again, remember that, you know, I'm in the phase right now that I don't want to overwork it so it starts to look comical. Or not even comical. What would be the right word? So it will, because there is a moment, and maybe you're familiar with that yourself, then when you just hit that wall where it switches from good looking painterly fresh feel of a painting to a complete disaster in terms of that it's really bad realistic or photorealistic painting. So it's either it's the margin of error between really good painterly fresh looking painting and very badly executed photorealistic painting, it's really small, and it can happen very quickly, that kind of switch. So I'm trying to make sure that it's not happening to me with this right now. I should probably stop working on that, let it rest rest my eyes from it and work on the hand, because the hand needs a little bit more work, which is kind of important. Kind of important. It's very important skill to have, knowing that this is enough. I'm destroying it, not improving it. A little sliver of light right here, and that will be probably the last thing that I put at the edge. So I have kind of an edge there to work with, and then a really dark value next to it. Okay, that's it. Yeah, there's plenty of other things that need to be addressed, especially this part right here. I don't like the position for this. So I'm going to use my eraser tool, erase it, and repainted it. It's a better position for it. Yeah. So again, all these adjustments, everything that I adjusted to this point, it's to improve the composition and overall feel or readability. Readability, would that be the word? So it's so your eye, perceive it. A little bit more accurately, so that's not that much space for misinterpretation of that. Softening that edge there. Okay. And right now I have like really I would like to go into that chainmail, but I still think that I have an area of a lot of information, and then it deserves a little rest, and then let's move here and let's put more information around here. So it kind of, because I don't want to be rendered to perfection, everything. Like I said, I still want to keep that painterly feel to it. After all, it's a painting. And you can see how much right now, or in this later stage of painting, it's about, I slowed down tremendously with paint application and thinking, I don't want to overwork anything, I want to build up on top of it. You can see me working with 2 or 3 really small brushes, and people will tell you that, oh, it's a big canvas, use big brushes. Well, yeah, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. And I use big brushes, I love them, but you need a small brushes for detailed work. And every painter uses a small brushes for the corrections. I don't know one painter that doesn't use them. And the other idea is that if you're a professional painter or want to become the professional, you should use all the range of the materials that you have in your disposal. So you can see me working with fingers, palette knives, brushes, household brushes, kitchen utensils I have here. I use pieces of paper. I have all kinds of stuff. So you shouldn't limit yourself. As long as it creates an effect that you're looking for, it's okay, it's good, and you should use it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Most likely he or she wants to sell you something. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop working on that helmet, even though I wish to continue. I'll push this edge a little. Pushing it slightly darker, and then I need to push this little darker. I know, I said that I'm done with it, but and right now I don't know if it's, let me grab my, what is this? Sandpaper. I have an unwanted texture here. The way that I applied the pigment with kind of an impasto style created small ridges, and those ridges were catching a lot of light, and it felt like it was breaking that kind of idea of form going away from us, so I had to adjust that. And it still have one crazy feeling that this is not right. Cool. All right. Let's look at the hand. I just need to put my easel back on a I have to put my canvas back on the easel. But before that, actually, let me do this. That's something that, remember I talked to you about. I'm going to put it upside down because I want to see I want to see how it looks upside down. It will give me definitely a good idea of what to do next. Yeah, the hand, you know what, the hand looks kind of okay there, with a kind of a dark, dirty feel to it, that it's a working hand rather than just you know, like a no, I think I'm going to keep the hand as it is. I will add a little bit more detail to it, but I am not going to change. I think the only part that really needs work right now is that that chainmail just doesn't look right to me around his neck and shoulders. It needs to have a little bit more of some kind of interest, something that has to happen there. And another thing is, when I'm looking at the painting, when I was talking about the composition, and this is very important for you as well, take into consideration. Look what I'm doing here. I don't even think of that. This curvature I am repeating here multiple times, then here, and then also with this right here. So it's kind of creating a repetition that I don't want to have there. I want to have that repetition, but I don't want it to be that blunt, obvious. And I think that that's creating a little bit of that kind of a boring feel to it. Yeah, definitely. That chainmail, it bothers me tremendously. So I have to work with it. I have to figure something out. Perhaps I could... What could I do? What could I do? I could probably add a little bit more of probably folds. I'm thinking folds would help. Yeah, I'm thinking folds would help, or I saw some pictures when they have like a little kind of a triangular edge there. So maybe I could create that to help it. Which wouldn't be that bad when I'm thinking about it right now. And do you know why it wouldn't be bad? Well, when you think about it, I have only cylindrical shapes in my composition except one, and that's the shield. And shield is triangular, right? So in my mind, if I create the little triangles right here, they will help unify that. It will kind of, when you think about, you know, from point of view of not only composition but design, it would kind of bond them together. They have some similar elements, so that they feel that they belong to each other, right? Even though I said that I like that idea of having it, like disconnected. So I want to make sure that the shield is from a different materials and different shapes. The sword, the chainmail, the leather, the cloth, the boots, the helmet, and the hand are different materials. But right now, it's too many differences and very few similarities. So I have to add something a little bit more, of the unity. And you remember I talked about this, not I, Harold Speed talked about this a lot in his book, that there is a unity within the variety and variety within a unity. That's his mantra. And I remember when I read it the first time, years and years ago, it was so refreshing. It was so influential to me in terms of how I think about composition. So I have a lot of varieties, and that's awesome because there's always something to look at, but I need something that is unifying it. And right now I have a lot of variations, and the unification with these things, it's very boring. Because this shield right now, when I'm looking at it upside down, and for those of you who work digitally, just put it upside down and make it really small and go all the way, go as small as you can possibly go, to see just the big shapes and whether or not these big shapes are working for you or for your composition or against you and your composition. And the other things that I feel that I have wrong, it's that position of the outside eye, the outside opening of the eye that I was working with a little bit. So let me correct that. Opening, see, looked a little too big. Yeah, way better. Okay, well that was the problem. And then maybe that part should go lower, this one. Okay, that's another part. The curvature that is right here, I need this and this and this. This needs to curve a little bit more. A little bit more. Soft edge, softening that edge, correcting it. Yep. See, and I was not able to really pinpoint the problem with the helmet, and I was, adding more and more detail, and I realized that it's not doing anything. And if it's not doing anything, then most likely it's not. And this is a good example of being aware that, detail will not save your painting. Quite contrary, actually. I think it might destroy it even more than you think. Because the more detail you add, the more interest and more, more you force the viewer to look that way. And if it's incorrect in shape or position, nothing's going to save you. This needs to go down. I know that I said that I'm done with the helmet. Obviously, I'm not. And you know what? It's my helmet. I can paint as much as I want. My helmet. Don't tell me what can I and can I not paint. No, I'm just kidding. It's just you know. The traditional tantrum throwing. You are not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, so I have this, I have that. Kind of liking that position right now and the symmetry, because that's the problem with the helmet. It did not look symmetrical to me at all at some point. Cool. Good attempt. Didn't work. Just a little bit, just to show that there is something on the other side as well, and kind of break that. And you would be thinking, why are you painting it upside down? Well, I'm not looking at that as a helmet right now. I'm looking at that as those are shapes. I'm working with shapes. I don't really care about anything else right now. Just shapes. These are just shapes to me. These are just shapes. And if these are just shapes, I can paint them upside down, left to right, I don't know, inside out perhaps. I didn't try that, but and you can tell right now, immediately you're looking at that and you can see the difference between even that saturation of that orangey kind of imprimatura against that blue shield. It's really, I think it's over exaggerated on the camera, but it works pretty well in real life, I think, at least in my setup in my studio here. And I have a lot of warmth reflecting into it. And I think that camera is picking it up really strongly. Yep. But that shield, maybe if no, the shield is okay. I'm looking at this and I still think that the sword needs to be developed a little bit more. And I think the problem is the darkness right here. I should make it darker right here. I think that that's what's gonna do it. I said so many things that I said that I didn't really. lighter value, and I'm trying to shape that a little bit. So it shows like a sliver of this, a sliver of that, and then darkness that goes all the way out. And I think that the reason why I'm trying to push it darker, and this is just something that it might be in my head, but when I'm thinking about these paintings and poses and this type of subject, I almost feel like the dark tip of that sword, it's about to seeing these poses kind of like a semi-heroic in terms of after fight, where the blood is on the tip of the sword, and instead of putting blood there, in my case, I'm just making it darker, because we used to see it with a really light value, really light shining value of a sword, a nicely fresh sharpened sword, against that red, vibrant, dark, rich red color. So I think that's why I felt that it needs to be darkened at the end. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think that that's the reason, like somewhere, subconsciously. It's almost scary to think that way, that I'm correcting the feel of the blade based on the fact that I saw it in the movies and games, comic books or whatever, graphic novels, or on the internet, in the pictures, in Pinterest, so on and so forth, always with something on it. And you can see me bending and moving because I'm observing this. I'm figuring it out. I'm thinking about what will help the composition and what will destroy the composition. I will definitely have to do something with that. With that chainmail, and maybe if I add a little bit more of that light, so we would kind of create a little bit more of the feeling of the form, that would be enough. Not convinced though, but I can try that. Because like I said, this kind of a simple shape looks heavy, and I wanted that feeling of heaviness, making it ornaments there, or some other interests, or some other how would I put this, some more detail there in shape might destroy that feeling of. I don't know. I really don't know. I will have to probably put it again into digital software, and let me just set it up like this for a second. I don't think that you're going to be able to see it, but it's important for me because I want to know how it looks. This one is okay. From here, when it's laying down, it looks kind of okay. Well, kind of. I mean, it doesn't bother me as much. And whether you believe me or not, this is what's happening with other canvases as well, and this preoccupied most of my day, correcting my own mistakes. And this is one way how to do it. Well, because I'm biased towards the certain movements of my brushes and kind of the natural feel, and I'm sure that you know this from your own experience, that when you are sketching, you have kind of a natural good feel of a sketching to one direction, and then when you want to do a different direction, it doesn't feel right. And you have to practice these motions so you get that muscle memory, so it feels natural to you. And it takes hundreds and thousands of hours to get that proper, cool muscle memory that you feel comfortable to just, sit down and start sketching perfect straight lines from any direction. I think that the sword is okay, but maybe I should add a little bit more detail to that sword. I think that's what's missing. Because I'm comparing it right now, and when it's laying down right now, and just so you understand what I'm thinking about, why am I doing it? Because if I have it oriented in this case, in the correct orientation, that means it would be standing upright like this. Oops. Sorry. Let me just explain that idea in my head. Actually, it might differ for different painters. So when it's standing like this, I am being extremely biased towards, this is the top of the composition, so this is the head, so it's focal point, it's okay, it's cool, it's fine, it works. The moment I lay down on the side, as it was right now, like so. Okay, it's laying, all right, and you can see it. Suddenly, right now, the main focus is it's that a sword. And right now, it feels that the sword needs a little bit more of that, of the detail. It might be counterintuitive to do this, but that's the one element that should invite you to continue with that. When you enter your gaze from here, even though it's sword, it doesn't matter because your brain immediately doesn't understand the sword. It's just a shape that goes here, and then you hit this and go this direction. So compositionally, that's what I want you to. I want it to be inviting, even though it's sword. I know it's counterintuitive, but I still want it to be inviting shape. So you go, well, what is this? There is a face there. That means that it's a person. Let me examine him. Oh, that was a sword. So that's what I want you to have in your head when you are starting to explore these things and move around with your eyes. And these things, don't think about this as these are milliseconds of what's happening there. And if I can extend your attention towards this painting for a second, it's already winning, because we all know that we have a really short attention span these days. So perhaps a little bit of more of that kind of a working with that sword would help. Because even compared to feel free to disagree with me at any point. Okay, I have to secure it because I'm just going to destroy it. Cool. So yeah, so probably I'll get even better reference for that sword with, you know, some kind of a little bit more of a detail. I will probably, most of the time, I'll just combine the different ideas from the different swords to get the one that I wish, that I find attractive or pleasing, and yeah. But one thing it's for sure. Sure. I can do these little adjustments at least. And then I'm gonna just try to warm up those shadows a little bit, because I have that, and that's probably what's bothering me more than anything else, that really the shadows kind of feel like the metal, so I'm gonna warm it up a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And right now I'm glazing warmer pigment, very thin layer of warmer pigment there. Not because I wanted to make it darker, I just wanted to make it warmer. And I'm using also yellow ochre. That might be overkill, but I wanted to make them lighter as well, so that's why. So I have a temperature distinction between the fabric, and it helped immediately. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can, and that's immediate. It's kind of you know, you would say no-brainer. But for some reason I couldn't. I guess I couldn't evaluate that properly. Softening it up a little bit. Maybe even a little more. Especially here, this feels a little too dark. So I switched from a really, really soft and thin wash into a little darker, little thicker. Yeah, and it works way better right now. I will have to adjust certain things, but at least it kind of have a feeling of a cloth. And you can see there's nothing has changed drastically, right? And that's why when I'm talking about being able to scamble and glaze, if you don't know how to paint directly, scambling and glazing is not going to help you. Trust me on that, it's not going to help you. And maybe that's what I was talking about. Let's just I'm just trying to show that little bit of that break that so it feels like it's going underneath that. Break it here, and then because that's the light side, and then push it here. So it gives kind of a visual clue that that part is going underneath that that chainmail, it's underneath. And it created a little crease there. And the reason why I'm doing it, it's multiple. First, I felt like compositionally it didn't work. And I didn't want it to add anything there extra. Just a little bit right here. a little. And I think this helped as well, just a little bit. And I'm going to, of course, I just suggested it there right now, and it might look that it's too much, but I believe it's going to be beneficial. But I have to get rid of this. So let me mix a little bit of that blue, a little bit of that light. Black. Yep. A little bit more of that. I'm trying to just a little bit bring that just to make it a little bit more interesting, that part right there. With the different shades of blue and green. That's the one that I wanted to hit. So I have slightly warmer, slightly cooler blues, more vibrant, less vibrant. Here a little bit. Cool. Just a little bit of different feel to it. It's very close to the same value that I already have there. It's just a slightly different hue. Cool. Warming up those shadows. I need to warm up these as well, because I have a cast shadow there. So I'm trying to darken that part a little bit as the form goes away, and then I will then again I can paint on top of it and adjust it as well. And I want to show that turn, so I'm, pushing it away a little bit. And then maybe I could add a little bit of here. A little lighter, a little warmer. Just a little bit, just so there's a just so I can see the difference between the shadow and a halftone, and the differences between these metallic parts, which would be the chainmail and cloth. These are all in shadow. Just a little bit. So you know exactly where the cloth is ending and turning away, and actually I could do it with this one. And again, if I don't like this, I can always, go back and repaint it. I'm just trying to destroy that feeling of that cylindrical, I can't say it. I was talking about these columns or cylinders, and I want to get rid of that feel that everything is like a cylinder. Or same looking cylinder. So I'm dropping the half tone there, trying to turn it away from us by making it darker value. Let's see what's up with this. If we can maybe work with it a little bit. So I'm changing that shape a little bit. Yeah, I think right now it's going to look better. Maybe I should push it all the way here, because right now, again, it's kind of a same feeling to it. But I will do it with this. Lighter. And a little more towards the purple. So I'm trying to change that shape, create a little bit more of that interest. So I created a little bump there, so it kind of drapes differently, slightly differently, and it gives me a chance to make this a little more halftone here. Let's see if that's gonna help that, you know, break that one continuous silhouette there. Well, it kind of helps. You know, if I don't like it, I can always, you know, repaint it. But I felt that might have been beneficial to put it there a little bit. So again, I'm shaping that in terms of knee plus something underneath, something. That is creating a halftone right here, just a sliver of halftone. And the reason is because this was flat and I want to show the curve and it's going behind. It has multiple purposes, but basically it's creating a little interest there. Even though right now I split it in half again, which is, how could I avoid to do these things? I don't know. Probably I will never. I have to put it there. You know, half this against this. So I'm going to hide it a little bit within the light. Because I'm talking about the composition and how important it is, and then I do this. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Split it into half, and I broke the knee, so I'm just painting it back because I didn't like it. Rightfully so, because it's not in the right position. I think that's what bothers me, that chainmail, it's not in the right position. Or is it? I don't know. I suggested a little bit. It has a little crease, and I'll go back to it and I'll try to figure it. I will try to figure out what the problem is. Just a little bit. It was kind of weird looking there. Yeah. All right, so that's that. Correct it, adjust it. Not very successfully though, I think. I don't know. Maybe I should make it a little more like here, that it's a more like so, yeah. Yeah, better. I don't want to have sharp edges there. Cool. I wanted to have that kind of a random feel to it. Cool. So I have this, I have that, and right now I can get into the hand and adjust the hand a little bit. If I just blue steel. I just want the coolness go really, really there. Maybe I could create these. Yeah, that might actually work. What if I create these? The will give more interest there. Yeah, on the, and maybe I can create a little bit of wave right here, so it's going. I have to check it. I don't want to. So I lost the edge around and the back. Into lost edge around and the back. Just a little bit. Well, it's starting to get little by little more cooler, I would say. Cooler, I mean, it's not that it looks cool, but it's getting that contrast between warmth and cool, warmth of the cloth and leather again, and arm and hand against the coolness of the man-made objects. Yeah, I think a little bit more detail on that chainmail will probably help. This one is wrong. And maybe if I hit it with the little warmth right here, let me get that. A little bit right here. I want to show that that cross is continuing up there, so I'm making it slightly warmer, but in the shape of that cross going up. Like kind of a see-through. So it feels that it's underneath, something is underneath. Yeah. So it gives that kind of a effect of something it's underneath that breaks that kind of a monotone form, kind of connect them together, and it works nicely as a nice kind of a contrast between purple and yellow or orange in this case, because I didn't want to go full yellow. So again, these are details that I'm adding there to support that feeling of three-dimensional space. And I'm carrying it down because I saw some of the garments that they used to have it on the sides as well. Maybe here even a little bit. but just a little bit. It's almost, I don't think that you can even see it on the camera, but it's giving a little bit more of the interest. I think that you can see that cross because that kind of shines there from underneath. I don't want to push it more because I don't want it to be that visible, but and then let's go right here. So cool. That light side I brought, I brought a little bit more detail, so it kind of has, I created that kind of a wireframe. That's I think how it's called. Like when you think about the 3D modeling, they always have that kind of a mesh. So I'm making that mesh right here, right now. Sneak a little blue around here so that orange kind of, shows a little more, even from a distance. Yeah, right now it's showing pretty good. So you can see that there is something lighter underneath or something more saturated, which is the cross. Maybe I could push this a little bit. So it's not just a blackness there or darkness. So it feels like it has. You can barely see it, but it's there, and that's important because it shows that roundness. It was round and then flat, and I want to go all the way around. That feeling. Yep. Okay, so that's that. Let me adjust a little bit right now that belt area, because right now, and you can tell that as I move around and I'm adding more details, what was working previously, it's not necessarily working right now. So I'm just gonna make little adjustments to it. Just to bring the contrast, or not even contrast, just to clarify where that thing is. A little lighter, just a little too much. I'm doing this because I want to show a form everywhere where it's possible. That means that I always want to show you a top plane, side plane, front plane. Especially with the objects like, you know, like belt. It's nothing, just a rectangle. Very thin, but still rectangle, and I'm thinking about that as a rectangle because then it's easier for me to identify that it has a side plane, top plane, and it curves and goes around, and showing that helps that feeling of three-dimensional. I could maybe hit it a little bit more saturated here where it's going towards us, so you have no excuse. And these are super small adjustments. And you should think of them as a super small adjustments because, again, I'm not repainting it, I'm improving upon it. That's the name of the game for this. And then again, top part right here of that buckle. Just little touches. So it shows little detail. So when you're exploring the painting, you have something, okay, this is here. I didn't even realize that. That's the basic premise behind this. Okay. It's catching the light, it's going down, perfect. That's turning away from us slowly, and this is really, like I said, I'm not repainting it, I am improving upon already existing painting. Yep. Okay, I won't be able to go all the way to the end of the stream today because I have a private sessions right now, but you should continue painting. And improving and slowly developing. And most likely I'm not going to be here tomorrow as well because I have some other things to attend. So just to recap very quickly, today I look at my palette. There's a very little paint on the palette. There is a very little paint put down on the canvas. Most importantly, but it's that I am slowly improving step by step. I'm into detail stage, so I'm deciding right now what's the important detail, what I want to have there, what I don't want to have there, what I want to show and give a little bit more of that that should something that should grab a little bit more of your attention, and then I have things that I want to just slowly fade away. And that's the name of the game. And important part is that I am trying to find a balance between variety, unity, and the variety, and variety within the unity. So that's that Harold Speed thought about connecting and disconnecting things that I am talking about a lot, and I'm aware of that. Sometimes I come to my painting and I add too many details, and it really gets into that point of not being the worst possible ultra realistic painting and the worst possible brush kind of more like a painterly feel of a painting. So I'm looking for that balance. I add details here and there, and then I go again and I cover them up, and then again add the details and again cover them up and connect them together. And I will do this forever till it's the time, okay, I can't really work on this painting anymore. It needs to go into a frame and being shipped away. So yeah, keep working, even though I'm not going to be with you, but you still have a couple how much I'm going to miss from the stream? I think an hour, yeah, hour and a half. So you still have an hour and a half to work, so get right into it. Without me yapping around. Important information, I'm not going to be here tomorrow and Saturday as well. I might do a quick bed painting Friday on on Sunday as the last time. So hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.